Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to be doing just a chatty get ready with me, and I want to do a makeup tutorial that is good for the holidays. I tend to always do nude lips, but today I want to try and do a really bright lip and do a softer look on the eyes, really something that I would wear to a holiday party. So I feel like I'm always using new eyeshadow palettes and I'm trying to use all the colors, and then I end up going with a nude lip, but we're going to reverse it today. Do a neutral eye and then do some fun pop of color on the lips. I don't know if I'm going to do glossy, metallic, or matte. We'll see when we get there because I have different options. I'm going to be using a lot of the products that I love, staple base products, and then I have a couple newer products I'm going to throw in, like the M Cosmetics highlighters, some lipsticks, some lip liners. So I have some new stuff that I want to test out as well, but I really want to do like my go-to look if I were to go to a holiday Christmas party. I will link everything down below in my description box. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. And if you enjoy these type of videos, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. And let's go ahead and get into it. So I went ahead and put my Kosas concealer as my base on my eyes. I like to use that. Sometimes I use the P. Louise base, it just depends. And then I set it with powder. But for the eyes, I'm just gonna use a staple palette. I feel like a lot of you have this. If you don't, I will link it. This is the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Divine Neutrals. This was actually on sale for like $10 the other day. I just checked, of course, today when I'm filming. It's not on sale anymore, but Ulta is having like 20% off MAC, and they're having a bunch of different sales. So if they're still doing that, check the Ulta website. I will link this palette specifically. I'm gonna be focusing on the mattes in here and using a different shimmer. So to go in my crease, I'm just gonna mix these two shades, and I'm going to be using a Smith 232. I always use these Smith brushes for my eyes. So I'm just going to be blending this into the crease. Someone's like backing a truck up outside. I don't know what's going on there. And I'm going to be taking it a little bit higher than my actual crease here and sort of pulling it out a little bit. So the day I'm filming this is the last day of the Sephora sale. I feel like there's been so much Sephora content and now it's coming to an end. I'm still waiting on quite a few packages actually, so I should have some hauls coming. I kind of made a really big order at first, and then I just kept making smaller orders. So once I have a rough transition, I'm not worried about it being perfect because I'm going to be building on it, and also I'm just going to be cleaning up the edges. I'm going to jump into Cinnamon Roll, which is the deepest shade in here, and I'm going to use a Smith 233. It's basically just a smaller blender, and I am going to put this on the outer and inner corner here. And then I'm just going to go back into the palette into the middle shade called Good Vibes and just kind of blend the edges here. I'm going to get a little bit of the shade Booked up here too. This one's like a really warm color. And basically just blend pretty much in my actual crease just to blend out the dark shade. So once I have a general blend going on, I'm going to go into one of the Jaclyn Hill Shimmer Top Coats. Now I did a first impression on this and I found that some of the shades are more intense than others. One that I really like and I reach for the most is North Star. I just feel like it's a little bit more high shine and intense than some other shades. I also have here Glassy. This one is more of a pinky tone. So it's going to give you more of that like pinky wet look. And then I have this other one called Glisten, which I don't know if I'll dip into this. Glisten is definitely more pigmented. So I found that some of them are more pigmented than others, some are more glittery, but North Star is the one that I reach for the most. And I just like to use my finger. So I'm just going to dip in here. These are really easy to use because they're sort of a, I don't know, like a cream gel texture. They're not like wet, but they're definitely not a powder. When I say they're not wet, it's not like a liquid shadow that I feel like sometimes can be hard to work with. I find myself not really reaching into liquid shadows because I feel like they leave a harsh line. This one doesn't. It just needs to be built up. So that's the only thing I will say. So this product sort of grew on me, but again, I have certain shades that I like, which this shade is one of them. It's just easy to work with in my opinion, but I did read some reviews that said that it was creasy, like it creased over time. I didn't notice that with mine. But if you have super hooded eyes, something to be mindful of. So again, just gonna go around the edges here. So now I want to do a winged liner. I know I do it a lot, but I feel it's the most flattering and I like the shape of it. And I also really like it for holiday, especially with a red lip. I'm going to be using the KVD tattoo liner. I actually got a set that I'll link down below with brown and the black in it. It had mixed reviews saying that a lot of them were dried out, but mine is not. I just opened and used this the other night and had no problem. So maybe if that happens, definitely return or contact Sephora. I feel like that's something that happens with pretty much any liner. There must be something in storage or just the way the cartridges are put in here where certain markers dry out, because I feel like I hear that complaint with like literally any marker. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a winged liner. Okay, liner is on. I did curl my lashes. I want to go into this Melt Cosmetics mascara that I'm loving. This is the Super Natural Mascara. I bought this when I first purchased stuff for the sale. I love the packaging. It's like Too Faced Better Than Sex, but in this really beautiful red packaging. And the wand is sort of curved, has like an hourglass shape. It really does a lot for my lashes. I demoed it in a previous video, but I had used a magnetic liner that got in my lashes. So I want to use this today. I am going to apply falsies still, but been really enjoying this mascara. It's probably hard to tell with this liner, but this really does a great job, I would say, at lengthening and also volumizing. And it's not super messy either. So I went ahead and did like 1.5, 2 coats just because I know I'm gonna use lashes. I bought these from Ulta. They were on sale. This is the Iggy, Azalea, and BH Cosmetics False Lash. I thought it was really pretty. It looks really long though, but I thought that I could kind of cut the outer edge and really get that cat eye effect. Okay, so while we let our lash glue dry, let's start on complexion. I'm gonna be using the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. I almost used this up. This is a deluxe sample size. I did order a kit from Sephora with a full size, and there were some other products in there. It was just like a really good deal, and I just have fallen back in love with this product. I'm also gonna take a little bit of my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream, just right in here. For my pore area, I have a newer face primer. I've never heard of this brand, but it had really good reviews. This is the Glow Skin Beauty Face Primer. Basically, it's supposed to be sort of like a silicone pore smoothing primer. It comes out like a clear gel. So I've been testing this out with different complexion products. It feels very lightweight. It definitely feels like it has sort of like a silicone slip to it. But I'm still trying to get my thoughts on how smoothing it is, because that's really what I like in my T-zone area. For foundation, lately I've been liking to mix like a dewy foundation with a matte one. Today I'm going to be mixing my Luminous Silk Giorgio Armani in 5.75 with the NARS in Stromboli. The NARS just is so smoothing. I don't know what it is. It can be a little bit drying by itself, so that's why I am mixing it together with the Armani. It gives me sort of the best of both worlds. I am using a BK Beauty 106. This is one of my favorite brushes from them. This brush just has such a good density to it. It's not too stiff where it's just sliding all your product back and forth, but it's also not too flimsy where you're not getting any coverage. For concealer, I'm gonna use a little bit of my Too Faced Born This Way, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of my Kimchi Chic in. This one is just really brightening. It can be a little bit drying, so I don't like to use it alone most times, but I like the brightness that it gives. The shade I got is too light for me, usually to use alone. I also like it a lot on the outer portion of my eye because I feel like it really cleans up and just sharpens my wing. And I'm just gonna blend this out. This is the Haley's Beauty Sponge. So now on to setting, which is one of my favorite parts of my base, just because it smooths my skin out. I cannot go without setting, and I am partnering with Hailey's for this portion of the video. If you've been watching me, you've seen me rave and use this powder so many times. It truly is one of the most smoothing powders I've ever tried. And this is the Hailey's Beauty Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder. I've gone through multiple jars of this. This gives you that airbrush look that I'm looking for personally. I have a lot of pores around my T-zone that really bother me, so I really rely on a powder like this to really give me that smooth effect. Hailey's Beauty was founded by a female chemist. Every product includes skin-friendly ingredients. They are fragrance-free, cruelty-free, and vegan. And now Hailey's Beauty is available on QVC. They have amazing bundle deals. So today I'm going to be demoing the powder and brush bundle. The savings on this is incredible. This bundle is exclusive to QVC.com. You get the Retouch Soft Focus Setting Powder and the Brilliant Powder Brush, and you get both of these for $22. They retail for $38, so you're getting 42% savings. So of course I will link it, but I want to jump into applying the powder. I like to use a sponge in the middle of my face, under my eyes, T-zone area. You guys have seen me do this a million times. I'm just going to be using the Hailey's Beauty sponge. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip my sponge into the powder. You don't need a ton, but I do like to get just a generous amount so I can really pull it down my T-zone. And I just go ahead and press this into the skin. This is a damp sponge. I get that question a lot. I use just a damp sponge, and then I'm going to grab some more. And I only do this really in the T-zone just because the smoothing effect is just incredible. So you can see the difference. One side set with the Retouch powder, it feels like my pores just disappeared. It's my best trick for those of us that have just enhanced texture or pores. You can see right here how enhanced my texture is when I'm talking, and over here everything is smoothed out. This powder is so lightweight, it absorbs oil, it doesn't give you flashback, and it doesn't cling or give you dry patches. It's just one of the best powders I've tried. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. So again, I just sort of press in, and then whatever is left, I just pull down. So to set the rest of my face, really the areas where I don't struggle with texture, I'm gonna go in with the Brilliant Powder brush. So this is such a nice fluffy brush you can use. You can use this for bronzer, blush, really anything. And I'm just gonna go into the cap of the powder and really just swirl and buff, and then tap off. And just start applying really around my hairline, just to give me a nice set. This brush is cruelty-free and made of sustainable wood, and I like that it's super fluffy and full. It's not one of those that's packed where I feel like it's moving my product or lifting anything underneath. It just really kind of buffs in nicely to the skin. If you're someone that does like a finishing powder type of thing, this would be a great brush. So this is what my complexion looks like set with the Retouch setting powder. This is why I love it. It just blurs everything out. All of my texture is just blurred and airbrushed, and it feels super lightweight too. It set everything down, but it's not dry at all. So you can get this duo with the brush and the powder for $22. I will link it down below, and it's exclusive to QVC. They also do carry the Rewind Blurring Full Coverage Concealer, one of my favorites. I've raved about it many times. And they do have a bundle with the concealer and a sponge for 20 bucks, which is an incredible deal. So if you've been interested in checking out Hailey's Beauty, these hero products are incredible and the savings are amazing at QVC. So I will leave the links down below. Thank you to Hailey's for sponsoring this portion of the video. And let's go ahead and finish off this holiday makeup look. So I actually just realized I forgot to put in my brow gel. So I'm gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario Master Hold Brow Gel. I usually do this before I do my foundation, but I forgot somehow. This has just been like my favorite brow gel. Since I tried it, it's just super lightweight and really easy to use. So I do push it down, make sure that it stays. That is a key. It's not like one of those like the Glossier Boy Brow or something that you just kind of fluff through. This is like a brow lamination. I want to go ahead and finish off the eyes. I'm going to go in with my Nabla Cupid's Arrow. This is a eyeliner in the shade 2. This is the best eyeliner I've ever tried. I usually use the black shade, but I'm going to go ahead and run this through my waterline. This formula is just so pigmented and creamy, and once it sets down, it sets down. So I'm going to take it a little bit lower on the outer edge here, and then I'm just going to take this pencil brush and blend. So I don't want it too far down on the inner corner, just really throughout here. I swear to God, I live like on a racetrack. I don't know, lately, it's like every day, all day. All right, Winnie's going nuts because Amazon just came, but I'm gonna go back into the palette and I'm actually gonna go into the shade Boo Bear, and I'm just gonna use that tiny Smith brush I used on the top lash line. And I basically just wanna go over what I just smoked out with that liner. And then under that, I'm gonna go into Good Vibes with a little bit of Booked, just a tiny bit, and I wanna smoke under the lower lash line. I'm using a Rephr 01 for this. So I'm just really, like, I'm under my eye bag here. So we're definitely going there. So now I want to add some dimension to the face because we have these crazy eyes and nothing else going on. I'm going to go into this NARS Full Access palette. The packaging is gorgeous, but the reason I'm using this is because I'm going in with a bold lip, so I want really a subdued blush. I'm probably going to use maybe this one or a little bit of this one, and I'm going to use this bronzer too. I just wanted to use something that wasn't overly warm or wasn't overly bright, especially on my cheeks. I love a bright blush, but with the bright lip, I feel like it'll be too much. So I'm gonna start out with this bronzer in here, which is just Laguna, and I'm gonna use the Rephr 05 brush and just start to bronze up my skin. I was looking through my collection, like, what am I gonna use for blush? You know, because what do you use with a red lip? I'm not really a neutral blush gal. I know NARS does a lot of holiday palettes, so they are definitely beautiful. It's just one of those things, if you have a lot of them, they can be repetitive, but they really kill it. Like, this packaging is so gorgeous. I just wish that they would give us different shades and not like Laguna and Orgasm in every palette. So for blush, I think I'm gonna take this matte cool tone shade mixed with a little bit of this one. This one has a little bit of shimmer, so I don't wanna go too heavy-handed. I'm gonna use a Rephr 4. I never use shades like this, very rarely. It's gonna be hard for me to not like punch this up. That's really pretty though. So I'm really dipping in mostly to this sort of mauvey pink, and then I dip in just like one time to this shade on the bottom, just because I don't want too much shimmer, especially when I have full glam on. I like more shimmery blushes when I'm doing more of like a natural look. So I do have a new highlighter that I really want to try. This is the M Cosmetics Sunscape highlighter. I have the shade Clarity. All the shades look quite deep, but I feel like they could be deceiving. This is the lightest shade, so I want to use this today and see how it looks. I love their blushes that are very shimmery. They're not obviously this shimmery, but I love their blushes, so I'm interested to see how this compares. So I'm going to be using a Smith 103. This is a newer brush to me, but I'm really loving it. And I'm just dipping in and tapping off, and I want to see what happens here. So it's definitely blinding. This is dry, by the way. It's really pretty. It is a little bit texture enhancing. I feel like pretty much all highlighters are. When I say that, I think what I mean is the Bake Chalet sort of highlighters that are like the Dior Backstage or the ABH Amrezy. Those are so smooth that I feel like they're not powdery at all, so they don't enhance your texture. But with a baked or a, like, let's say the REM Beauty one that I talked about, it's super beautiful, but I notice like a bump here and then a bump here, stuff that I really don't notice typically. So I think it's just powder highlighters in general, but it doesn't bother me. I just want to make note of it. If you have a lot of texture on your cheeks, just know that. Okay, so I'm also going to take a little bit of this M Cosmetics highlighter, and I just want to put it on my inner corner. Just to add some brightness. Okay, so now I want to finish off with lips. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I have a Jaclyn Cosmetics lip liner here in Beau, which looks like a red. It might be a little too pink for what I'm going for. I also have this lip liner from Melt Cosmetics they sent over, and this is in Thrill, which, well, this is looking a little bit pinky red too. I'm gonna go ahead and try to line my lips with Melt, and if it's not right, I can adjust it. Lip liner is on. I have to say a prayer when I do a bright lip liner, but I have some options here for lipsticks, and I feel like this might be too dark. I was thinking about the Jaclyn Cosmetics lip lacquer or this Too Faced Lady Bold. This is a gorgeous red, but it might be too deep. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm gonna start out with this Makeup Forever lipstick that I bought during the Sephora sale. It's one of their metallic ones. It looks like this. And then maybe add a brighter one on. It has a gritty feel to it. Okay, so this is a little bit brighter than I had anticipated. I might try to add a little bit of this Too Faced Lady Bold because I really love this shade. It's definitely deeper and these are crazy pigmented. All right, I feel like this is a little bit more what I was thinking. I'm gonna try to add a little bit of this Jaclyn Cosmetics Candy Drip Lip Oil. I love like a shiny, bright lip. Okay, and to finish off, I feel like I'm a little bit nuts, but I'm gonna try to add a little bit of this Pat McGrath Electric Bloom, look how pretty this is, blush. When I say a little bit, I'm talking a little bit. Something about blush, I just don't feel finished without it. So I'm dipping in and I'm like really tapping off, and I'm gonna try to keep it back here. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, my first holiday look of the year. Not sure I'm loving this lip color with everything else, but I'm just playing around. Definitely let me know if you have a recommendation for a deeper red lip liner. This was red, but like bright red, but I'm just playing around. I have to look at my footage and see, but I love how the eyes and complexion turned out. The eyes are really grungy and holiday, and the complexion is just super smooth. I like how everything blended together. I just don't know if this lip color is a little bit brighter than I had thought. Of course, I'll be doing more holiday makeup tutorials, so please do let me know if you have any requests. Definitely check out Haley's Beauty at QVC. Those prices are unbeatable, so I will leave those linked as well. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.